Everybody, I appreciate you guys being here for another tattoo critique. This is episode 34. 34. Not too bad. It feels like we haven't been doing this that long. I don't know why. It does not feel like 34 episodes. We've missed weeks. Let me mute myself over here. There we go. Anyhow, I just want to thank you guys for being here. We are going to be taking a look at your work. If you haven't already, go ahead and email your work to the email scrolling at the bottom of the screen. That's artmesomething@gmail.com. Artmesomething@gmail.com. That's where you can send your guys' work now while we're live to that email address, and we will go through them. First, we're going to go ahead and take a look at any emails that may have been submitted for the tattoo challenge. But we're going to give Andy a few minutes. He should be jumping in here. I sent him over the link. We're running a little bit behind today because of our other live stream that was just before this, where we were tattooing a wolf. We did a wolf live stream. How long ago? 45 minutes ago. We ended it maybe 30, 45 minutes ago. And I'm jumping right into this. I'm a little bit behind because of that tattoo, but no worries. We're here. I'm just going to kill 5 or so minutes. Let Andy get some, take care of himself, get his stuff set up, and jump in here with us. My wife is with us today, the voice behind most of the live streaming we do. And she just wanted to check out the tattoo challenges. I think there's only one actual tattoo challenge. So if you want to hang out for a little bit longer, you're obviously more than welcome to. Oh, excuse me. Anyhow, guys, thanks for being here. Let me say hi to some people because I'm not tattooing right now. So I can actually read my own comments and what you guys are saying. 322, man, thank you for being here. I appreciate that, dude. I appreciate it. I had a great time tattooing that wolf. I just always enjoy black and gray pieces. I don't know why. I just truly enjoy doing them. The larger, the better when it comes to tattoos. When it comes to tattooing, the larger the tattoo, the better. I enjoy those much more. All right, looks like my chat is running slow, but there he is over there. What's going on, Eugene? Welcome. Thanks for being here, man. You're a trooper, Dave. Thank you, Bradley. Appreciate it, man. Again, good to have you guys here. Love to see the crew. Jeremy, hi, wife. Let's see what it says. Hi, Dave. Have a good show. No portraits from me. Only 1 day off work this week. I understand, dude. If you got 1 day off work, no need to spend that tattooing. What's up, buddy? What is going on, Jimmy? Thanks for being here, dude. Art you later. Welcome back again. Hi, guys and gals. Welcome. Hey, we're just going to kill a few minutes here, guys. If you got any questions, shoot them in. Andy should be jumping on here in a little bit. No rush, Andy. We will just hang out and shoot the whatever for a few minutes. Who else we got here? Eugene again. Thank you. Robert, what's going on, man? Thanks for being in the chat. Thanks for being here. I posted that my brain feels a little shot, and it does feel a little shot. It's pretty normal for me anyhow, especially after, it's not an incredibly long session, 4 hours probably, maybe less. I think around 4 hours. Yeah, actually almost exactly 4 hours. Slowed down a little bit by live streaming that. That does slow you down a little bit, but no less. My brain feels a little shot, so it should be interesting today. I love you, man. I love you, man. 78 tattoo artist. Oh, I think Andy is here. Andy, I'm gonna pop you up. Tattoo artist. Oh, I think Andy is here. You have to mute your video playing in the background, though, Andy.
Yeah, should be off.
Yep, all good now. All good now.
Messing around with my camera again.
All right, Robert, you sent us some email with some stuff. Good to go. Eugene says, been super busy. Haven't been on here for a while. No worries, man. It's just glad to have you here right now. Sup, man? Ever try rain carts? I have, and they're okay. They're not my favorite, but, everybody's different. Thanks again, Eugene. Appreciate that, man. I enjoyed that. That was a fun tattoo. That was a tricky one. Fur is a pain in the butt. What state are you from? I'm from Ohio. Great state of Ohio. No hurricanes, no some tornadoes. Nothing.
No.
We don't get all the crazy stuff. We don't have critters and reptiles and poisonous this, that, and the other, but we have snow.
Yes.
So anyhow, Andy,
Yo,
man,
chilling. I am just chilling. Sat watching somebody else work for a change. I think it was you.
I can't hear you, Andy. I hear you, but you sound faint.
I sound faint. Is that any better?
It might be me. Let me see.
Hold on.
Oh, it's probably Andy.
Are you muted me?
I know. I told you my brain was fried. I had you on volume 8, and I'm thinking, wow. I'm looking at Alicia going, he seems pretty far away. It sounds. So anyhow, I fair warned everybody. It's my brain is a little fried today. So
yeah.
Sorry, you can come in a little bit closer. Sorry.
Push me out.
I'm not. I need to change this thing because we have this green laser thing going across your face, and we'll get that switched out.
Oh, you've got company tonight.
At least for a little while.
Gonna give us a real lowdown on how painful you are getting tattooed.
I was not mentally prepared, first of all, to get tattooed that day. And the bone is quite painful.
Definitely a painful spot. Definitely a painful spot.
Especially when you're tattooing and it's easier to tattoo on the bone. So you try to pull the skin over to the bone.
And I never realized how much my bones stick out until he was tattooing them. So I was
good time.
It was hard to read the comments while getting tattooed. So
hey y'all, give the stream a like.
Definitely. Do as many as you did.
What's that?
You did a great job getting through as many comments as you did while getting tattooed.
Right.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Like, hang on, I gotta reply to a comment. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, do that. But we got a rough little, we got some lines in there.
There's lines there.
Right. It was just get it in there. Okay. Well, Andy, it looks like we have one submission for the I just feel like it's up in the air. Oh wait,
I think it's about time we come up with a new one then, Dave.
Yeah, I guess so, but I don't know. Like no one's really doing them, so I haven't really come up with anything new. But maybe we have to come up with something new to get people to do that.
I wonder if we'd be better off putting something up, like we said before, and going down drawing side for a change.
Would be fun. That would be fun.
Same one, 2 weeks in a row. Get them to do first week black and grey, either charcoal, graphite. Second week, same image. They're taking colour. Yeah,
that would be fun. Let us know, guys, if you would be interested in doing a drawing. Not even really a challenge per se. No, this is like to win or lose. It's just something. Sometimes you don't know what to do, and Andy had a pretty decent idea of a series of things maybe to help progress people along. Is that it, Andy?
Yeah, like I say, could have it first same image, black and grey first week, same image again second week, colour, and then third week, anybody that wants to tattoo it, they've got the reference there. They work off their own reference, and they'll pick either the black and grey one or the colour one and tattoo it and send it in.
Dude, that's fantastic. Because that's exactly the way it should be when you're starting off and when you're trying to, do a piece. It should be. You remember? I would draw it out, charcoal it out, some of the big pieces in the beginning, just to really make sure I could see it properly. And even then, it always falls short of what you want it to be. But without those steps, it would be that much harder. Nowadays, I don't need to do that, but there was definitely a time where that was a thing. So yeah, Andy, I think that would be awesome.
Just something different, mixes it up, gives people then a chance to. Some people might find it easier just to submit a drawing piece than an actual tattoo piece. Yeah, right. And in a lot of ways, it can be almost more beneficial to do some drawing pieces and then that final week submit all three. That black and gray, that color, and then that finished on fake skin piece. That would be really cool because then we can really truly help people, Andy. I think. Yeah. That route. Oh, yourself, if you haven't got, shall we say, some sort of art skill, you're going to struggle from off. You might have the technical ability to put it in the skin.
Yeah.
But if you haven't got the artistic skill then to pull it off in the skin with the lights, the shades, the blending, the colours, your colour palette, if you're using colours, because that, you know yourself, that goes a long way. And how many times have we seen that people are using let's say that they're using 3 different blues, but they're not leaving enough of a gap or enough of a step in between the blues,
Right.
you know, colour variation for it to be pulled off in skin, and it all ends up looking one colour basically.
Yeah. And then for people like Tibberts, he says, I don't have the art behind me, just the learning how to draw. Then I mean, even better, man.
Even better.
I mean, you're in that process, so I think this is good for
Cool.
people in your situation and many others. But all right,
Also,
Andy, you ready to pull
yeah, let's rock.
some emails here? Which one do we got here? Is this the correct one?
Yes.
It is. All right, so I'm pretty sure there are 2 tattoo submissions this week. I'm pretty sure these 2 are people who sent their emails to the wrong email address because they weren't sure what is what. And yes, it is. That is not one of the tattoo challenges. If you want to send a piece in to have it looked at, whatever, that's the email scroll at the bottom of the screen. And we looked at these the other day.
Yep.
And so goodbye. All right. So Bradley, I'm pretty sure. Yes, Bradley.
That's it.
Bradley
That's from
says,
Challenge.
hey, Dave, Bradley again. I managed to upgrade my Baby Punchin Fold Pro, as Andy calls it. Working with the Packer now. Right on. Been a hit. Oh, man. Been at it for about a month and a half, but work makes it hard to be consistent, focusing only on my line work until I feel I am ready to move on to shading and packing. I use the CNC police cartridges with triple dynamic black on real skin. Thanks for the CC, guys. No problem, man. Let's take a look. So, yep, we got our Bishop. Oh, man, you got it. You got it with the little battery setup and everything. Shoot.
Yeah. He's gone.
He's an investor.
He's got deep pockets.
Right on. Because I bought mine before they were doing the battery with it and everything. So let's take a look, man. Right off the bat, okay. So you're working on lining, and we can see that. My favorite of the 2, personally, is the flower.
Yeah.
It has the most smoothest and consistent of the 2. I think what would have been really good, and I think you're probably thinking the same thing, Andy, are the lines on the inside of this flower. Had you used a smaller needle grouping, a 5-round liner or something like that, just something smaller than what you have here, a few needles smaller, and gave those lines a little bit more curvature as you did them, right? So I think you can kind of see this cursor. Some of these just need to flow with the flow of the petals on that flower, but those lines around the outside, man, I think those look pretty solid.
Yeah, you can definitely tell, because I vaguely remember his last piece. His lines were nowhere near as punched in as what these are. They were very, very light, very quite, for want of a better word, quite scratchy.
Right.
But
these are quite small, huh, Andy?
You are. What's that, Dave?
I don't know what this is. Is this a nickel? I don't know what this is, but this appears to be a pretty small tattoo. Also, he threw this coin in there.
But the lines are saturated on this, and they don't look as scratchy and open as they did on his last one. So vast improvement for saturation on line work on this. Yeah. I agree with you. The rose is better than the swallow.
But they're longer lines on the swallow, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's naturally going to give you a little bit more trouble. And they're curved. Not that these aren't, but it's just a little bit more contained. And these a bit more. So things you're looking for, I mean, obviously the things happen, but you see the little wiggle here and see how that's just where you're trying your best to get that as smooth and as arced as possible. You know, same down here. It's not bad. It's not horrible or anything like that. It's just that's all I would really critique, is maybe just try to smooth them out a little bit more. And then, like we were saying, maybe try using some different line weights inside your tattoos. But obviously the Packer is helping you out a lot more. It's definitely punching a much harder punch than the machine you had prior to that. So good to go, man.
Yep. Going in the right direction.
Absolutely. All right, we got Tyler up next. Let me just peek at him. Yep. Oh, we got another one. Tyler says, "Hey Dave, I decided to do one of these challenge designs simply for the line work practice. I've attached a line work picture as well as a shaded / finished picture. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks, Tyler." All right. Oh yeah. Now I don't know what fake skin this is on, but it doesn't look like the greatest, and this looks pretty decent.
It does.
Oof. Ooh, that's
I like that.
This is
overall. I
mean,
really like it.
It doesn't look the best fake skin, like you say, but
Yeah.
this it's nicely put in. To be fair,
Yeah, I think so. If I had to critique anything, well, some things I like is I like how these points are really nice and crisp. Like they come out to a nice point. Sure, there might be a little one thicker and thinner, but overall they come out to a nice point. The lines seem dense. The black seems black. We use a smaller needle grouping, it appears, for some of these curved stuff, and for the most part, they're pretty decent. So let's see what that looks like shaded. All right.
Ooh.
Okay. I don't mind this. I guess anything I'd have to say would be personal preference. Maybe it's just a little bit flat. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very monotone. They could have done with some deeper black in it, right in back edges, in crevices, just to give it a bit more of a shape. Like you said, for me, personal preference would have been for this. It's some of the petals are a bit too overshaded, dark. There could have been a bit more open space left between, because it looks like he's tried. To be fair, it looks like he's tried whip shading.
Yeah,
and it's ended up coming out somewhere between whip shading and normal shading. And
right.
Whether he's had his machine running a bit too fast or he's running his hand too slow, for stipples.
Yeah.
Or just basically put a bit too much. It's just gone a little bit dark and a bit monotonal for me, but that's preference. But then again, I quite like the shading in the leaves.
Yeah, I do too. I like it's a simple, but it's clean. What do you think?
I like it.
I like
the leaves. I like how they have kept the open space along the middle of the leaf.
That's
I can't remember what it's called.
I guess not really the stem, but I know what you're saying. This section right here, that little bit of white, or not even white, just open area helps out a lot. Smooth gradation. Yeah, that's the first thing you catch. Like, I like that. So overall, man, nice job though. Nice job. All right, last one on here for the tattoo critiques. I guess, or the tattoo challenges. People like that particular flower. Hi guys. Cockney. I always say your name wrong, man.
Cockney Tez.
Tez. I'm gonna go with Tez because I can't pronounce it right. I literally have a headache. I did design twice as I didn't like the first one, but thought I'd submit it anyhow. There's bits I like on both, but also things I'd change on both. Keep on learning. That's all I can do. All right. Let's take a look. Let's go. Let's just hit this one up first. Ooh, okay. He went with something different here. I kind of gave it the flower a little more like volume, if you will.
Made it look more perky.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, but it seems like has volume in the front, and then the back kind of feels a little less of the same at the front. But overall, man, I like it. I like that he contrasted that with some dark leaves.
Yes.
The line work looks all right. Yeah, I don't know. Not too bad. What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, like I say, it's not so bad. Line work's not bad at all. And I like the leaves. Like you say, the front of the flower looks like it's been altered in some way. Like I said, it looks to be fatter at the front of the flower. And I don't know whether that's just maybe throwing it off a little bit for me. But
yeah, I think the way they shaded it.
Yeah, but no, it's clean enough. The lines are in.
Yeah.
Could just work on probably just a bit of stipple shade. His stipple shading again. His stipple shading looks quite heavy, to be fair, and quite close together. The dots look quite close together, and I mean, yourself, Dave. If you're going to stipple shade, easiest way is crank your voltage on your machine right down.
Yeah, that'll give you the
It's
quickest.
yeah, and go and do it that way, and then do a few passes, clean it off, let it settle, move to another area, and then come back to it. But it's not the easiest of techniques to learn and learn right in stipple shading. But once you
Yeah,
get there, it takes a bit of messing around, but once you get there, it does pay off.
and this some people like you can depends on what you're going for. If you want that simple look, slow your machine down. If you want this look, this is also a thing you can do. Obviously, run like you said, run your machine faster, moving your hand, you're gonna get this effect, which is also cool. I don't mind it. Let's see what else they have here. Okay, well, this is kind of cool. I kind of like this. I like that they, excuse me, kind of did like this gray wash sort of blend here, and I kind of like it. I like these leaves. I know I'm partial to it because I like the bold outline. I don't know what it is about it, but I'm gonna go ahead and say I like it. What do you think?
I think if they would have narrowed the opening between the black and the open a little more, I think it would have been a little more cohesive because there might be a little too much separation there
Between the open areas?
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's just kind of interesting to look at.
Yes.
Yeah. See, for me, I agree. This is looking more of try to go down a traditional style.
Yeah.
Black and grey. So the black should have been black, punched right in, and then left a small white border around the edge of each leaf or petal. Come on, keep leaf petal to give it that traditional look. A bit like he's done in the very bulb of the rose, where he's only give it a fine bit of fine white up either side. If he'd have done round every leaf, I think it'd have looked better and punched the black in so it was solid black.
Yeah. I like that. Well, Taz, I hope that helped you out in some way, shape, or form. All right, so here we go. Luckily, we got a small crowd today, which is nice. So where are we here? Let's go to today, 6:30 when we went live. Archulators first on deck. Ooh. All right, we're getting excited.
Which one's this one?
Oh, you're on the wrong email.
What?
You're on the wrong.
Oh, you guys can't see what I'm looking at. Sorry, guys. Boom. All right, now you can see. Archulator was the first one in. We went live at 6:30, so we start from hers, I guess, now, and we're gonna move up. So Archulator says, "Hi again, guys. Sending 2 pieces. You want to read? My brain's literally hurting."
Cat that I've tried with color, bit patchy, but it was fun to try. And something I need help with. Piece done on wrist.
Oh, that's a 00 3-round liner.
Okay, what he said. Fingernail size.
Oh, wow.
Since it's small needle, there is nearly no resistance in skin. Didn't want to blow it out, so went way too shallow. How can I tell it's too deep? It's deep enough. Plus, is it okay to top it up after 2 weeks, or is it a big no? Thanks, anyways.
I've seen these.
Yeah, you might maybe give it a little bit longer than 2 weeks to let it heal out before you go over it again.
I've already seen these.
Have you? Okay, I'm gonna take a look here. All right, so I'm guessing. All right, 3 days after. You can kind of tell by looking at this. It's just on the surface, and I know it's gonna take some. Am I getting rebound? I know it's gonna take some time to get used to seeing this, but it's not fully saturated. There's some spots in here. Let's take a look at the healed one. Yeah, all right, right at the top there, where you can tell it's in there. But if it looks, I'm sorry, I'm zooming in so far, but if you get this sort of weird look, plus where was this put at? This is kind of porous.
That looks
a foot or a wrist. Yeah. So
that's a crease, which is, yourself, it's even worse to put something like that on a crease.
Right. You can feel the texture of the skin and those pores, and it can kind of freak you out a little bit as well. But you kind of just have to, and if you're trying to figure it out, you can start what you have here. Okay, you got it in there. Now go over a little bit. Push those needles a little bit further. Just try to get it in there. just under the bone. Yeah, okay, very small. Smart
Yeah.
of you. You're getting it. You already tattoo small pieces, which is awesome. There's definitely a market for it. And now you're working on skin. And once you figure this out, which is a hard thing to just explain, you're gonna figure it out over time, doing these little experiments, kind of like what you're doing here. And once you get that, it's all over. You know, then you can move on and really start developing even more. But anyhow, as you know, you went too shallow, and it's a learned thing. It's an experimental thing.
It's one of them when I look at that.
Oops. Oh,
Putting something that small, Dave, on a wrist on a joint.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of movement. One, it's a hard thing to do with such a delicate needle anyway. And I look at it from the get-go, from the very first piece. It's like, yeah, you've stretched, but maybe not stretched the jointed area far enough. But you'll know yourself when you're in and your needle's in, even if you're using a fine needle and you dial, because obviously you use a fine needle, you can dial your voltage back. When you're in and you're in the skin and you throw, you can hear your machine, the note of your machine, even with a rotary or a pen style. You lay the machine or the cartridge, it'll just change note that little bit.
Right.
It just has a different note to it, and then you'll know, to keep it in at that spot as you go through. But this was a tough area and a tough one to pull off for your very first tattoo, and I'm actually not surprised from the initial one that it did actually come out like this.
Right.
Because, like we say, working on fake skin, you're not going to overwork it. You're going to get it in.
Right.
You can push on a lot further and not blow it out. And this is where the hard work begins, transitioning over from the fake skin to real skin, where you can actually screw it up or do damage.
Right. And people ask a lot, you know, what, I guess, how do you put it? Like, what voltage you're using, different things, all these different variations. But I think the most important thing to know is, or what machine do I use? Should I use this or this or this, or what's going to do best? I tell people, if you know how to tattoo, you can use any machine, and make good tattoo. Some machines you'll make them with better, yada yada. You get the drill. The most important thing that you know is what the ink is supposed to look like in the skin. So if I did this tattoo, okay, that's not going to last. So I'd go a little deeper, and that's the part you're trying to learn through this process, is knowing what you're looking at and knowing, all right, that's not in the skin. I got to do this more. So if you use a machine you weren't familiar with, say has a really soft hit, and you approached it the way you normally would, let's say, and it's not happening the way you want it to happen, you just would adjust fire. So you can use any machine really and get a good result if you know what you're doing. But this is the process you have to go through, and you're going through it, and we're glad we can help you out along the way with that. Yeah. Hey, Mike D, what's going on? Only you and a few people know what's up there, dude. Oh, in the OK Vapor, right?
Oh my.
Right? The good old days, brother. How you doing, Mike? Long time, man. All right. Dang, this is cool. This is cool. Like really like this. Are these? Yeah, they are. Okay, so did you, Archie, did you do this one and then color it, and that's what I'm looking at, or did she do two?
I think
it looks like she's done the first one and then colored it.
Okay, and these are just two photos next to each other, right?
Yeah, because if you look between the cat's ears, you look at the line work between the cat's ears when it comes over the
pretty much identical.
Well, yeah, when it comes over the curve of the frame, let's pull them lines, because I think it's using a 7-round liner. I think she said she was using a 7-round
liner. All right, we're moving up.
So
how
that's
big
a big, big.
Tattoo?
Yeah, that's a big needle for articulators, and I think also a mag, where you can just see not as much confidence, believe it or not, with a 7-round liner than she has with an 083 on fake skin. Because if you want to get super critical with the work, if you zoom in, you can see more flaws in a line work with a 7-round liner.
Yeah,
you see it compared to a work with an 083 3-round liner.
Yeah, and I think the reason that we're seeing that, and again, just so she's aware, I really like this. I think it's cool. I think the color use a little bit more work, but you're learning so much. So,
Yeah,
but I will say, I think the difference is that when she's using those really tiny needles, sometimes, not all the time, they're also being done with really tiny tattoos or
yeah,
pieces she's working on. Where I believe this is a bit larger, so you have a lot more movement of the hand, which allows for more potential errors. And that I think that's why you're seeing them in some of these longer
yeah.
runs. The whiskers not too bad, but I mean overall it's a pretty decent piece. I really like this, the way she shaded this.
Yeah,
We have shape to the face. There's little darker bits and little like more specific detailed things, and then a nice shade over the top.
This one's palm sized.
Is it palm size? Yeah, okay. So but this is bigger for Archelaus. She's usually doing stuff like this big,
Oh
size of
my.
like a quarter and stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
So this is definitely larger.
This is where you see, like you said, you've got more. You're having to move your hand, your wrist, and your arm more on these lines, which
Yeah.
then incorporates that you're having to control the depth more as you're actually traveling down that line, compared to a tiny little line where you can just go for stuff that articulator usually, shall we say, prefers to keep to.
Yeah.
I would say that this is properly way out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, it's definitely cool that you're working on larger stuff. I mean, even though it's not huge, but for what you work on, this would be considered larger. And I'm digging it. I mean, I know there's some flaws here, like especially over here. We have this really. I imagine if this were on skin, some of these lines may be punched in too hard. But also at the same time, the skin is a little bit forgiving when it heals. You know, sometimes I'm not in love with my lines. I'll see it and I'll know it and it'll bug me, and then I'll see it healed, and it's like, oh, thank goodness that the human body like heals some lines better. But that can also go against you as well. Things could go bad. Yeah, I like this. I wish these purples were, I don't know, maybe I'm not sure exactly. I really like the eyes.
I do too.
And what she's got going on down here. Yeah, I don't know. Good stuff.
Yeah,
I don't really have a lot to say. Yeah, I like it in black and gray and in color, mainly because we get black and gray and color both in the color piece. Okay, I'm out of here. All right. Good job, Archelaus. Thank you. It's awesome to see some of you guys' process journey, the whole 9 yards. Super cool. All right. Bradley, this one was really fun to do. I see some mistakes, but I also see some progression. That's it, Bradley. That's it, man. See the mistakes.
That is cute.
And but see what you accomplished. Well, yes, less. This is cute. And it is cool. And for the most part, it's a solid tattoo on fake skin. It's not terribly large, but it does have some, inadequacies. One of the big ones that pops out to me is this star right here, and the points are a little bit, not quite there. Little foot action over here, but I think this little foot action that's bugging me is actually the purple stencil behind it. It's making it a little bit more obvious. So yeah, I would say these stars are kind of a bit there, but you know what? The lines are not looking bad. They're saturated. I don't know. The depth seems solid. It seems consistent. Your machine angle might be all right. Some stuff to look out for though is when you're coming from line to line, point to point, we try not to, go over here, right? So take your time. Maybe you're riding the tube a bit more and you don't have as much visibility on these shorter lines with shorter distances. You can always throw your needles out a little bit further so you can get more viz on your needles, which will help you avoid, missing your mark on some spots. Yeah, not too shabby though.
He says he was playing with different line weights on the stars.
All right, well, very well. I mean, this is the time. So if you already know, and I'm sure you can look at this and see all the positives, and I see a lot of positives too, man. So definitely keep at it. Keep working on those lines too. You're gonna appreciate it later on. Yeah, the fake skin work you're doing now might not be all the sexy cool stuff with tons of shading and all that, but Get good at them lines, especially on fake skin, because everything changes once you get real skin. So you want to be as prepared as possible. Uh-oh. This is all right, Nathan. Been an apprentice for about 6 months. Okay. This is my first recent piece. I included most recent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I included a little bit of color that I'm still trying to get the hang of fully. Thank you for your time. Let's see what we got here. Okay, we got some stuff. So let's start here. Okay, I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit.
It's not helping with all the grease and glowing on this.
Right. So from here, it looks like these lines aren't punched in.
Yeah, because you can't actually tell. You can't actually make the lines out clearly because of all the, all the glare on it. I'm looking at the bottom of the first letter up near his armpit. Looks lightly put in.
Right, right. That's what I was looking at too over here.
And then, like I said, as we get to the end, what I assume is an A.
Yeah.
At the end, I can just see some of the outline. But to be fair, there's so much glare on it that you can't actually make an honest critique.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's kind of, I can say that it looks like it's not quite punched in here, and that in getting close to that armpit, it takes a little bit more know-how to get the ink in properly, because that skin is so stretchy and so bouncy, and it fights you. You got to do a few things. So, but over here, again, it's hard to say. It's hard to see. Looks like it might be in a little bit. The design is confusing me on this one. Obviously, I don't know what the original is supposed to look like. But all right. So here, man, this one suffers from no real solid outline, super, super scratchy outline, and then just a not fully saturated black. Again, this photo is a rough one as well. It's kind of like a little glitchy, but just looks like that outline was literally kind of just scraped in there. It doesn't feel like it's really holding this thing together. And then the black's not brought all the way up to the line. Just little things that would make it, if this is what it is, it would make it that much more bolder and crisper. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I left a comment up there.
Yeah, and what's looking is like the points where the points should be points. Some of them are, on the ends of each letter. It's just let down.
It is. It is. It's unfortunate. I don't mean to laugh, but it's like, dang, 6 months in an apprenticeship, though. I don't know. You would hope, truthfully, for a little bit more.
Yes, I would have said 6 months in an apprenticeship, and if you're in a studio, and they're giving you the time and the input from the other artists, I would have probably expected at 6 months in to see it be a bit cleaner, as in crisper.
Right.
And that a 6 month period.
Especially something like this, because this is one of the first kind of things you'll tattoo, I would say would be like a filled in black thing, whatever that may be. And this is one of the things you want to do your very best in the beginning to nail, prove that, hey, I got this, I can take on a little bit more or whatnot. So these are the kind of things after 6 months a mentor would probably be expecting. And they probably would have seen something like caught this before it went to human skin on some fake skin. So kind of tricky depending on, who your mentor is and whatnot. But yeah, I would spend a little bit more time with that saturating some fake skin, getting comfortable with that or something. I'm not sure exactly where to go from here. I would talk to your mentor if you're in the apprenticeship you said you're in. All right. Bradley is letting us know if you're interested. Ultimate Tattoo Supplies having 50% off a pound of flesh for Black Friday. Not bad. I know I've heard pound of flesh is not cheap, so maybe that might help some people out. Okay. Oh, I think we've seen these. These must. Oh, goodness me.
The little piggies from Moana.
Hey, this is Tez again. Cockney Tez. Here, hope all is well. Hello to the boss lady.
Hello.
I've not been on for a bit due to some personal issues, and I must say I've missed being here. We missed you too. Well,
Yeah.
here is a few pieces I done over the last couple of weeks. The pig you've seen before, but wasn't finished. That's right. That's right. Thanks again, Dave and Andy. This channel is a lifesaver. Ah, that's awesome, man. So, oh,
I love it.
I do too.
It's so cute.
I like it. I like it.
Well, there you go. There's one for other hip for boss lady. She can have this one on other hip.
There you go. Where are we gonna put this one at? Huh?
It makes me feel like a little kid.
It
I don't
is.
know.
It
It's
is.
cute.
It is. I like the coloring in it.
Oh,
It's
all
simple.
warm, all warm and fuzzy.
Right.
Yes. And I love the movie that it's from anyway. So
That's from a movie.
yeah, it's from Moana.
Is it?
Moana.
It does what?
If the more you sing it, it doesn't help. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
I didn't quite get that first time round. Do I get a second
Right.
chorus?
Yeah, right. What is it from?
Nothing. Never mind.
Oh, come on. It's on the internet now. Everybody heard.
It's okay.
We'll always play it back.
Good job. I'll give you a good job.
You're fine.
I'm gonna sleep on
Okay.
the now I'm gonna sleep on the couch, Andy. See, now I will sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
The things I do for these people. Kidding. All right. I think this is cool. I like the saturation. Saturation is on point, in my opinion. Where they put the color, it's saturated, which is good. Obviously, fake skin. You know, you can be a little more aggressive, and they're not going to overwork the skin. But this doesn't even look like it's really overworked in the fake skin. Love the shadowing. I like it all. I think last time we talked about maybe the spoon being crooked, but you can't really fix that since it's already lined out.
I like how they did the background because it's not a solid background. It's kind of got like the
Yeah.
splash of water kind of look to it. I like it.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, it's a nice sticker. It's quite
Yeah.
a clean, solid sticker, illustrative piece. Actually, it's just a fun piece. Is this?
It is. It is. Oh,
Oh, that's
okay.
cool.
This is interesting.
This is cool.
I like this. I really like these leaves.
I do too.
Yeah, this is quite a good funky take on a rose. Actually,
Yeah, yeah, with that black back there, really holding it down. And then the way he did this looks like 3 shades to me. Maybe a little bit of like some mixture of tones here and there, but we have like this whitish pinkish at the end. And then this deep sort of brown maroonish red down in the depths. And then this base sort of red here, the mixture of a little here. So I like it. It's simplistic. Bold, like the drama in these leaves, which it really needed with that black behind it. The line seems solid. I'm digging it.
like in the color on the leaves, the transitions between the colors on the leaves. And the thing is, when you zoom out and you zoom away from it, it's got it in color. And even though it's illustrative again, and it's quite a basic color palette, it still keeps the piece together, and you can read it.
Yeah.
It's quite bulletproof. You can stand away from it, you can zoom out and you can stand away from it, and you can tell what it is.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Fun tattoo. I could see people, being like, hey, I like that. I want something like, it looks like something that could be done. Oh, this is
yummy.
cool. This is cool.
Now, this is great because he's put his piece outside of it that he's been working off.
Right. He's working off a tattoo, which is cool, especially when you're, working on fake skin. You might as well practice something that you can visually see already tattooed by somebody, especially when you're on fake skin. You got to worry about people whining about, hey, that was my tattoo. It doesn't matter. It's on fake skin. And I think they did a fantastic job. Like as far as the colors go, we'll zoom in and we'll get a little closer here. What looks to be the case is maybe this base down here, they lined it, they probably stenciled it straight off of the tattoo, which has the curve of the body built into it a little bit. Maybe that's why this is slightly weird around the base. But aside from that, and when we get up here closer, we got some purple lines in here, I guess.
Yeah,
or is that
the stencil? I wonder if that's the stencil though that's left.
Yeah, I think that's stencil lines. Huh. All right. We'll be interesting to see it healed to fake skin with the stencil gone. I think there's enough there. It should still hold the shape and whatnot. The lining looks all right for that. I mean, not bad. No, my plumbing is acting, not my internal personal plumbing, but the toilet in the shop there's like gurgling at me.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, it's a fun piece. It's
Check that out.
not quite as the reference. but it's his own take on it. Could have had a few more shades just to give the glass a bit more of a curved shape to it. Put a little bit more, highlighting, as in lighter pink on it. Used a bit of white, to get some lighter ones on it. The only thing that's other than the base, to be honest, it's bugging me is the straws. He's really missed the mark on the reference between the reference and the straws, and the straws that he's done. Got quite a bold outline round them, whereas if you look at his reference, it's quite a light outline. But that's just been a bit, shall we say, being a bit picky. But,
no, I think that was a good catch. I didn't really notice that.
But there's a lot of purple left in from stencil.
Right. That's kind of, which that purple is really adding a lot to it, really.
It gives like a neon feel to it, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah. Which now that I know that that's part of the stencil, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah,
maybe what happens when that cleans off.
It looks a little bit more. How can you put it? Pop arty.
Yeah.
Like pop art.
Right, which is cool in its own way. Just needs cleaned up a little bit, and again, it'd be cool to see this without the purple stencil on it eventually. Nice job, though. I mean, not taking anything away from these. These are cool.
No.
They're Tez. Nice job, man. Thanks for sending those in to us. All right, next up is Haven Tattoo. I'm 2.5 months in. Very specific. I like that. I'm always asking. I wonder how long you've been tattooing now. 2.5 months. Perfect. In my head, I know what I need to work on, but I would like feedback to maybe give some more insight. Deers on my thigh. Mr. Kilowatt was done on my neighbor's tricep. Okay, well, I mean, that's 2.5 months in, and you're tattooing some skin. All right, let's see what we got, man. Okay, and a good size tattoo as well. And this is going to be a little tricky because it's already got stuff on it. But I have some things to say about it. For 2.5 months, it's not bad. But that's the thing. Here becomes the problem. There's a bunch of little things which are going to add up to the overall being like, When we start down here, Andy, and we get these I like that they try to do that green, yellow, put a little yellow in there, but it just kind of almost looks like an afterthought, or they didn't blend it at all. The lining, I don't mind too much.
His lining seems to, around the flowers, that seems to be, shall we say, the couple, maybe, I don't know whether it's grey or whether they're just a couple of tiny little blowouts, but they're only tiny little blowouts.
Right.
I'm not a fan of the shape of the flowers, the actual individual
right.
But that's just a fan of the shape.
Yeah.
Of them. But like you said, the leaves, the green, them flowers may have benefited from, instead of being left completely open, may have benefited from a little bit of colour just coming from centre, just whipped out.
Right.
They just look a little bit open. Oh, excuse me.
Now we get up here. I think the problem comes in when he's really just adding this color to it. It just doesn't quite come off as saturated, especially in these blues. And the browns, I guess you don't have to necessarily 100% saturate it. For something like this, it's just going to heal a little bit lighter. But like the details in the eye are kind of throwing it off a little bit here. Like I said, there's nothing like one thing that's going, oh, that's why I'm not a big fan of that one. Just little things. The shading in here seems a little haphazard. What are your thoughts, Alicia, from an overall standpoint? I mean, what are you doing? Like what? No words? No thoughts?
I don't know. The blue kind of throws me off.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's maybe because you tried adding some of the shading with it with the black, and it's kind of making the blue look a little muddy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But go ahead.
I've got a few things.
Absolutely, Andy. Go ahead. Where do you want
right
me to
hand here? Right hand here.
Yep.
It's got a flat point compared to the other one. That flat point on the end of it looks like it's missed up there.
Right.
And that's for some reason because the inside of it looked quite pointed. The outside of it isn't. That's just bugging me a little bit.
Right.
I've got I don't know what it is. It's the eye, or whether the shape of the eye, whether it comes down into a point. That seems to go. The eye seems to go towards the nose, but then where it's come round the eye, then comes down towards it. Just looks a little bit off there.
Right, they're going in different directions, huh?
And the other thing is the total lack that is Mr. Colour one that leaves in.
What's
One that
that?
leaves on flowers. One that leaves on flowers at bottom. You got. I can't believe you missed it, Dave. It's missed one that leaves. You haven't even coloured it in.
You're the eagle eye of the group here. All right. You still caught that tiny. I'll never forget that little word you found in the. We looked at this tattoo for like the whole for like 10 minutes, and there was a little name in it. Anyhow.
But it's like we said before. You start looking at all these little things. And then it starts looking. You start looking at the tattoo even closer. Then, and then obviously you can see all still the rake marks. Some of the blending out could have been a little bit smoother. And then you look at some of the lines and you think that could have just been a little bit curved, bit more curved, or that could have been a bit more pointed. And this is what we've said in previous shows. It's the little things.
Yeah, and then the smoke. I don't know. The mark on the deer's neck. I'm not sure if that's a symbol for something. Maybe that's a symbol for like a bow, an arrow. I don't know. Maybe they hunt it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Is it a Greek letter?
I got nothing. Oh, someone's saying it's the Norse symbol.
Is it? All right.
That's what outsider art is saying. It's the Norse symbol. You heading out?
I'm heading out.
All right. Good day.
Good night, guys.
Night.
So the next one. Okay. The next one we're going to take a look at here is this guy. I kind of like the red. I like the red, but I feel like all these lines are just right on the edge of being hammered in a little hard, and they all have a steady little shake to them. Yeah. We use different liners inside. We're using a little bit smaller of a needle grouping, but it's just you got to get comfortable moving. You're working on a curved surface. You're trying to get used to controlling your arm and your wrist and machine angle and all that, and it's just a little bit off there, which is causing a lot of your lines to get, if they're not blown out, some of them are very close, which means you might be going a little bit too fast, or slow, which is usually not the problem, or your needles are pushed out a little too far. So anyhow, find anything driving you nuts on this one, Andy?
No, I mean, I'll be honest, I actually prefer this one to the deer one because it's a little bit more simpler. It's a little bit more out there. Like you said, some of the lines they're running right on edge of that. Right. I think is it the back of the glove, the one that's holding the knife?
Yeah.
Where it pops up to, is it blown? You got to blow out.
I think it is a little bit here.
Yeah, but because you like you pointed out, them lines are in that they're really, really on the edge of being blown and not being blown. But then again, I mean, it's got a cheeky little face on it. I mean, mouth on it, quite like mouth on it. And for 2.5, this guy's 2.5 months in, and what I'm going to say, for 2.5 months in, they're not. How can I put it? They're not as bad as what I thought there was going to be.
Right. I agree. I mean, like you said, you have some people, and everybody moves at different speeds and levels and everything. But for 2.5 months, it's not bad. Just got to hone some few things. And then some of the problems can even be done before the stencil's put in, like this eye operation here. That maybe that was in your stencil, you just followed it verbatim, but the eye definitely looks like it's going in a different direction than the rest. All right, good to go. Moving on, Robert. You wrote a lot of information here, Robert. So, hi there. I've been a subscriber to your channel for a while now. Really like your way and want to thank you for that. I started tattooing about 4 years ago, but only in my free time. I believe I've done 100+ tattoos so far. No, I am considered to do full time. No, I am considering. Oh, that must be what it says.
It missed the W off on it.
Yeah. You'll mess me up. Now I am considering to do this full time starting next year. Until then, I want to invest serious time in practice fake skin. Sending you a few pictures of a cover up I did recently, hoping to get some feedback. I'd love to hear your opinion. I kind of free-handed this one. Oh no, because I had really hard time putting on a stencil. By the way, I live in Germany. I'll be 60 next month.
Right on.
Never too late to start. Heck yeah, dude. I don't even care what I do care what it looks like, but good on you, dude. 60 right on. All right. Ouch. Okay.
Oh,
That's oh heavens. Okay. Hey, look, I got respect that you're starting up something new. 60, been doing it for a few years. I'm just not understanding this, and now it's kind of cool in its own way that what's happening here, and I don't know. Okay, so this was a cover up. I see he's working on this. All right, sending you a few pictures of a cover up I did recently. Okay,
right.
this is the piece
So
that
that's the start.
I see. And this, hmm,
Now,
I don't
off the
know.
bat for me, what I'm going to say is I know it's a cover up,
Yeah,
but there's still not enough separation.
yeah,
Now, what I'd like to have seen, if you use true greys, and I started to cover up myself on Saturday, and I've got into this true grey crap, and
yeah,
that stuff's phenomenal, Dave. Absolutely phenomenal.
yeah,
Love working with it. Now, if you'd got into true greys and used true greys here, you'd have got a lot more separation between it. It's still for a hat, and I know try fixing it and everything, but for a hand tattoo, it's very, very dark, and I'm assuming that that's white.
yeah.
And
They added
that
white,
white, from looking at that person's skin, because they look quite olive skinned,
right?
that white I would expect to take on a yellowy tinge to it, if not start to disappear and fade down a little bit. So then you are actually going to be left with a dark, splodge on the hand, because the skin on the back of the hand, you've got to keep designs quite simple and quite open for them to last, because the skin on the hand, it takes so much a hammer that eventually it'll just all meld into one.
And if we look at some of the stuff you did add, though, it's maybe it's I don't know. It's just something looks still sort of
Half in.
unrefined. Yeah, like some parts are in, some parts aren't. Just not really. I would love to see another one from you. I know this was a cover up and whatnot. I think it would be fantastic to see next time something maybe that you did without worrying about covering anything up, and just something a little bit more legible so we can help guide you along. With this one, it's kind of tricky. It's kind of hard to know, what it was already kind of rough there to begin with. You added some stuff,
What? Can we just answer the question on this? All right, let's point. Can true greys cover
Yeah.
up all black? Right. From the bit that I've been doing, as long as if it's old black and it's got that, a bit of faded look to it, depending on how it is, I am finding that depending on what shade of true grey I'm using, yes, I can get it to cover. I can get it to cover black.
Yeah, you can.
But depending on your shades, but then, and you've watched him, and I watch him, and I avidly watch him. Mr. Reyes, but you've got to use a silly, and he's right on what he says, and I found this myself. You've got to use different tones and values to do it, but you've also, believe it or not, Dave, he's right in what he says. You've got to use smaller needle groupings and slower needle to do it.
Yeah, you got to really pack that in, and
I'm finding that 9 round liner, 11 round liner, and sort of that grouping, 9 round shader, 14 round shader, and I'm doing complete top of a bloke's arm at the minute, and which will be finished in New Year. But biggest, I've got a shader out, but it's a 7. It's a 7 curved Magnum butt pin. Now that's the biggest needle I use.
Yeah, which is small. And another thing too, when doing cover ups, is you want to distract the eye. You're covering a tattoo and you're distracting the eye. So that's why texture is a real big one when doing cover ups. If you can find a way to put texture in there and shape and whatnot, that's going to distract some of those harder to cover up parts of a tattoo in this case, scarred areas. And then obviously you just want to be really smart if it's a really dark piece and you're going to have a lot of darks in there, whether that you are doing true gray and you need to cover it with more of your darker tone grays, then you got to play very smartly with your open skin. Wherever the open skin is at is where you want to try to really make sure that the highlights are of your piece. And that's all going to come down to in the back and the front end, designing things out.
Yeah.
And making them work.
I think he's in chat.
Who's that?
Is it the person that's Robert? Rick Roberts in chat. Yeah, it says it didn't fade when heel basically stayed the same. The client wanted a sketchy covered up. Yeah, that's fine. That's fair enough. But what I say is,
good. That's cool.
As the artist, you're also down for the design to leave, going over the top of this, to leave enough space that it will translate still into a good tattoo that's readable when it's done. And you could have done it with this design, but what we're saying is if you can use true greys, which is just basically white with a bit of black in, and packed it in, you'd have been able to get so much more depth and so much more transition of a black, a medium grey, and even a light, that it would have separated it to read a lot better as a cover up on back at hand.
Right. Okay, Corey's in the chat. Hi, my name is Corey. I'm 26 years old and I started tattooing 5 months ago as it's something I've always wanted to do. I have yet to get an apprenticeship. I still work full time, being able to tattoo on the weekends. Thank you. Let me scroll this over. For reviewing my work, I'm completely self-taught and only have learned from YouTube and hands-on. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, well, again, kind of hard sometimes these photos because you get the glare in it, but I think I can see enough parts of this to kind of give you a general idea on this one. The lining, in my opinion, I think it's quite good actually. Where I can see the lines here, just run across here. It all looks pretty consistent, pretty well saturated. Same around here for the most part. You can see where you picked up and put down a few spots. The hardest part here is probably going to come down to your saturation of black. It's just, I mean, it's pretty close. It's consistent throughout. But if you look here, you can kind of see where this is, you know, slightly off.
I think that's great.
You think so? Could it be gray? I'm not sure why you would.
Do you know why I think it's gray, Dave?
Why is that?
Because obviously it's supposed to be a silhouette of a tree, but I'm looking at, and that's a wolf. Now, as that wolf and the tail comes into the tree, it's a lot darker than that tree.
Well, I think that's because they was going around the outside packing it, and then when you get to these open areas, same around here, you know, everywhere around this stuff, under here, over here, around all the little leaf pieces sticking out is darker, and then you have the fills in the middle.
Well, yeah, you could be right. So I just wondered whether he'd use like a black for the wolf and then a slightly, say like a 75% for the trees, just to try and keep it dark, but you know, still as a silhouette, but being able to separate them instead of them all melting into one. But yeah, you could be right looking at that. But it is a hard photo with all this glare on. For some reason, I don't know why people want to put ointment and goop and crap and that all over them before they
try to get it dry and as nice and dry and clean for the photo as possible. Okay, from here it's like I know what's going to happen, but from here at least this one's a little bit more pleasing. This one, I think the lines are a little rough. The main ones popping out to me on this one is this up here. Even though it's not like horrendous, for whatever reason it pops out. And I think part of the problem is this shading. It's like somewhat directional, but I don't know. I mean, things have curves to them, so you kind of want to try to give it a little more curvy instead of just like a left, right, up, down sort of shade. You do a little bit of that here as well. And it gets a little bit better in the snake, in my opinion. Let's take a look at this snake. The lining's okay. It's not too bad. It gets a little hard to read down here, but I don't know, Andy. I'm kind of drawing a blank here. I think the skull needs the most help.
The thing for me is especially on the snake, needed some open space. It's all shaded. There's no skin breaks. It needed some light. Especially, try to leave light on the snake's belly and leave lighted areas and shade off it. But we've also got to remember with lightweight in this, the center of the snake's back that's going in the directions, that will be light as well. It'd be dark on the top, maybe dark on the bottom, but because it's rounded as it comes to the top where light's hitting it, depending on the direction of your light, it'd naturally be lighter. And I think it's missing that. But what is really bending my head out, because looking at that snake's head, following that body back, you would not see that snake's belly at that point.
Yeah. It's a weird bit of angle you have
because the snake's head's there, and then as the snake comes round, it goes round and goes up, so it twists around. So that snake's belly would be behind it, pointing backwards, and that throws the bottom of the snake off. Massively.
I think this is a Harry Potter thing. I just noticed this up here. I think that's
it's got Harry Potter sign in
Harry
top.
Potter sign in it as well. And that was good what you're saying. I think the skull needs shaded a little bit better personally. But
then obviously on the right hand side near the top, you've got a pickup. Shall we say it's like a pickup and drop off, but he's got a staggering curve.
Right.
Can you see it there, Jed, just above your curve? If you come just to the right hand side, Dave. On first curve, come down a bit, down a bit, down a bit.
Okay.
Go across to the right.
Okay, right here.
There. Can you see it?
Yeah.
See that stagger? It's got a bump in it.
Right.
It's as if it's brought the curve round, stopped, then started again, and it's like, oh crap! Instead of running down his line, just hovering over his line and running down his original line, and as he nearly gets to end, it's scooping back in and running his line again. It missed his mark.
Yeah, and those things kind of pop out to you. But and then the other little thing it's kind of, and again, it could just be the haze on here, but when you're shading, you would really want to do your best to try to stay inside the lines, all the little details where it's going to help. So let's check out the next one. Okay. This feels a little bit monotone, very, I mean, we were trying different shades. You're not just doing black here. We had a bit like actual shades happening for where things to show depth, which is nice. I see what you're going for here. But you can't forget to put black in your tattoo. In my opinion, I think what would have stood out better, again, is where you have like this darker bits back here. I think if this was black back here a bit more, just straight up, give it some contrast and make the front pop out more. This being black, and then you can kind of fade up a little bit. Black back here. Same over here. Maybe see how this is fading down. Maybe a dark black up here. We can leave this just the way it is and then go back with black and saturate a few spots and really try to sell this a little bit more. That's where I would start personally. I don't know. It's kind of where I'm at. Just kind of feels a little flat. I think lining, definitely continue to work on the lining. It's a little haphazard here and there, but I mean, it's moving. Let me go back in. My bad.
Yeah, it's like you say. I mean, lines are smooth. Going round, they're a bit wibbly wobbly. Going round it. Like you say, it's very monotonal. Is this one? Bottom of horns, that back horn could have definitely punched some rich black into them, to separate from front to back. I'll be honest, what I'm not a fan of is you see these lines, rip marks or whatever it is, or whether it's meant to be a flag, through the background.
Yeah.
Can you see the lines? The lines are in like a black, but then
in
the grey. If you're going to shade them in the grey,
line them in the
line it. If you want to line it, but line it in a tone lighter than you're going to shade it in, so that when you've shaded it, you can't see them lines. And that'd have done a lot better for this, instead of just seeing them line marks down it.
Yeah, or like you said, or just don't line at all and just let it be that. If I were doing this, I would use a mag that kind of fit that size, whether it be a 19 to 15, 25, whatever, and done that in one swoop, back and forth pendulum motion, and and maybe mitigated the lines altogether. Or like Andy said, man, use a few shades lighter, maybe just so you don't lose your stencil portion. Let's see. Let's go to the next one. Alrighty. This one's looking better.
This one's definitely looking better.
Yeah, definitely. I think, and I'm not sure. I wonder if I think the letters are supposed to have these little like cuts in them and whatnot because they're so
Yeah, they are.
consistently that way.
It's supposed to look a bit broken.
Yeah. This is a big improvement, like the red around it. I guess maybe some of the lining in the clouds look a little bit on the less smooth side of things.
But generally, this is I'll be honest with you, what we've just seen, this is 100% improvement.
Yeah, and he was saying over here too, I'll throw this up there. I saw that the 3 you reviewed are from around 2 months ago. The next one, referring to this one, is from 1 month ago. So good improvement. Now from here, staying in this realm and whatnot, now it's just a matter of fine-tuning what you have here. Because I like this tattoo. And this tattoo with just a little bit more smoother application could be a really good tattoo. Same exact thing, just a little bit more smoother saturations in the blue, a little bit more in the yellow, a little bit more saturation of black in the black. It's slow and steady. And then maybe I know I'm critiquing this a lot, but I just feel like this could, with a little bit more effort, take it up that next level, coming in here and smoothing out some of this gray. So, but I think overall that's the obvious progression. So that's where you're at. You're gonna keep working at it, and over time you'll see all those little improvements in it. But this was fun. It was fun to look at the improvement along the way. All right, let's see what the people say. Kudos for the letters. They are not easy. Yep, could use some refinement on the shading. Right. Overall, big improvement. Most people are saying good job, much better. Yeti says fire, right? Oh, this one was actually fire, bro. Yeah. So cool to see everybody digging this one a lot more. So good job, Corey. How long? 5 months in, man. You're doing all right, man. Keep at it. Mike is up next. We have, or Mark, I'm sorry. Jeez. One of these days I'll get my words together. Mark, let's take a look what we got, Mark. Hey, I've done this tattoo several times up here. That I'm fine, save me tattoo. Yeah. Okay. It's hard when they, just so people know, take your photo before you put the plastic on. It makes the photographs a lot easier to read. I know some people forget, maybe it's an afterthought. I'm not sure. But go ahead, Andy. Yeah, you were going to say something before I said.
No, I'm just going to say, take your photo. You beat me to it now. I would say, you take your photos before you put second skin on.
Yeah, it seems like a common sense thing, but I mean, I'm guessing people forget and they're like, oh yeah.
I mean, I have done it myself. I mean, what I can see with this is some lines are in. They're looking quite harsh, actually. There's some of them.
Right.
Some lines, but I don't know. It's getting some of them, especially on. Is it a sword handle that biting on, especially the right hand side of it? Some of the lines over the top look a bit lightly put in.
Right.
And
maybe
the shading could do just being a bit. Take care of it more with the shading, a bit smoother, just work on it. There's no. I mean, you say you've done this. I've never done this tattoo, so you say you've done this one.
No, this one up here. This
right
one up here. It's if you look at it one way, it says I'm fine. The other way, it says save me.
Right.
But no, this down here, I think this person needs to work on when it comes to that shading is choose the right needle grouping, choose the right mag. If you're not comfortable with mags, not you per se, but maybe just in general, if you're out there watching, you're like, I just don't really like using those mags. There comes a point where you, in my opinion, you need to get comfortable with them. You need to learn them. You need to figure them out. You need to, whether that's on fake skin, whatever the heck you got to use. But and in that process, you practice that pendulum motion, right? You don't need to use that for everything. I'll use circles, I use packing, and then move my hand fast, use pendulum. But then you need to find a way to make the shading a bit smoother, right? Because it just feels like chunky. It's like right here, and it just kind of feels chunky. It doesn't feel real smoothed out. Same around the chin. It looks like you're using like a lighter shade, which is good, but you kind of want to, just a hard thing to explain. Around the cheeks, they're very heavy and chunky. Smoother. We're trying to get that smoother look. Let's see. Okay. Overall, the lines are, yeah, like Andy said, some are good, some are not as good, but overall, looks like you're moving in a direction there. Keep working on those, but this is your time to really practice that shading because you're going to need it. It's just as important as lining, or at least the techniques involved in it are just as important because you use those same techniques when you're coloring, packing, blending, all that stuff. All right. Oh, gosh. Excuse me. Let's see. I'm sorry. Corey said, I'm trying my best and only focusing on getting better. Thanks for the Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah,
All that
keep
matters.
going. Keep going. It takes time, doesn't it, Dave?
It absolutely takes time. If I had to quit when I hit road bumps, when I felt like I should be doing better, man, I would have been done years ago.
People seem to think that you're going to pick up a tattoo machine and you're going to be smashing stuff out in smashing brilliant art pieces out in 2 and 3 months. It takes some people longer than that just to learn how to get it into skin it right place and be confident pulling a line and this, that, and other. We all learn at different speeds, so you get there when you get there. It's not a race.
That's it, and you have to be patient. And tattooing early on, all of it, you have to be patient and take your time because what are you rushing for? Where there's nothing at the end of the rainbow. I mean, there is eventually what you might want to get to, but I guess there's no real purpose to rush because in the process of building a small reputation for yourself, no matter what that looks like, you're better off to be patient because then you're going to have, you're going to make tattoos and there's going to be people right there who want to have tattoos. They're absolutely going to be people who want free tattoos, cheap tattoos, any tattoos. So in the beginning, that's good, but don't take that for granted because eventually people are going to be like, oh yeah, he does free ones, but nah. So when you get the opportunity to tattoo some human skin, you want to be prepared for it. And that way, if you do walk away from it and it's like, but at least you gave your best. Anyhow, let me go ahead and click on another one here. Oh, Gunny, Semper Fi. Again, we have plastic wrap.
I'll let you do this one, Dave. I'm just going to pit stop.
Yeah, go ahead. My thing with this is because of that second skin that's on there, I cannot tell what's going on with this chevron here. This Gunny, good old gunnery sergeant here. Because with this plastic on, it looks like we have some what's going on here. What's going on with these lines? I can't tell. The plastic wrap's on it. Now the Semper Fi is a little bit easier to read. But I do remember seeing this the last time we were looking. I think you already had the Gunny symbol. Maybe the Semper Fi is something different. Not sure here. But, I mean, from what I can see of the Semper Fi, that looks pretty decent. I cannot tell if these lines are smooth. I can't tell if they're in there because of this plastic wrap or second skin, guys. You're going to take photos. Try your best to remember to take them before you put on the products. So again, this was just a hard one to read from you, Mark. Let's see. Anybody got anything? I just want to check the chat, make sure I'm not missing anything. When I can draw most everything I recently have gotten into painting. Also, all right. So let's get into it. Let's get up the next one. Dan is up next. Dan says, "Hey, look what he's got here." Dan. All right. I like it, man. And I haven't even looked at it yet, but I like it from here because I know what that is. It says, "Hey Dave, been tattooing for about a year off and on. To be honest, more off than on. That's, hey, when life is life and you got a job and everything else, this is a slow process, which is totally understandable. This is over the weekend in a hotel room in Massachusetts. I didn't do the letters Death Punch ink in red, because the red I had was some cheap Dragunov stuff that I got for free with the machine I bought and just wasn't looking right. Okay, fair enough. So I decided to do them in black. The stencil was made from a picture of your stickers. That's what the outline around the picture. I forgot to get rid of it when I made the stencil. No problem. Let's take a look. Oh, that's cool, man. Super cool. If you don't know, this is like, if you go to, I think, Facebook or one of them, like this is one of my logos on there. This is what I have on my stickers. I have a few different like versions of my logo, but this is one of them, and I really like it. And whether you meant to or not, I really like the ink, the letters INK, because they look like they've been like stitched into this hand. And again, I don't know if that was what you meant to do, but I really do like it. And I know this piece very well. And this gave you some opportunity to do some small lines here and there. Overall, it looks pretty good. I think that maybe in the punch, you could have got a little bit more saturation out of it, because over here in Death looks, pretty solid and saturated. Over here in Punch is a little open. It could just be the photo, but yeah, I'm partial to it because, well, again, it is
You're biased.
the logo, a little biased, huh?
You're a little biased.
A little biased. Someone says that's cool. Awesome, Dan. I like it. Killing it, man. Killing it in hotel room, Massachusetts. Hey, that's some good stuff to do in a hotel room. Hey, we're doing pretty good, guys. I think we're gonna be able to get through these in no problem. So
looks like we might be chatting crap for a little bit, Dave.
I'm fine with that. Like I said, my brain feels a little bit fried today. Woke up at 4:30 this morning, worked on a video, went and plowed the driveway, and then went off to church. Got home from church, or on my way home from church, it was like a freaking blizzard outside. It was insane. Met my tattoo appointment here at 1, did the tattoo. We live streamed, got off of that, jumped over here, and it's just been one of them days, Hi, guys. Been tattooing about 10 months now, and I think I could benefit from a critique. Thank you. I put 3 recent ones. All right. 10 months. 10 months. All right. Hey. Oof. I like this, Andy. Just looking at this from here, I like it. And the white is really, I think, what's heavily selling this, which I'm totally fine with. Yeah. I obviously can't see a lot of fundamentals here, the way it's done, but I like it. We even have a little texture in the axe itself. Yeah.
Be nice to see this one healed.
Yeah, it would, to really see everything.
And see some of them areas lighten up a little.
Right.
And just let it breathe a little bit more. But yeah, it's still readable. The white really does push this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that's it. It's smartly put in white. Yeah. It helps separate things. Things don't get as lost when you do things smartly. I like this as well.
Yeah, I like this. I like the use of purple that
yeah.
put in there, and the orange and the red, and how it transitions across the face with the highlights. It's got some rich black in it. What I would say though is, to this person, I don't know whether you chat, there's just a little critique, and I can see it from here. If Dave zooms in on top of the head.
Top of the head, yep.
Yeah, just the hair there. It just looks a little bit light as it gets up to the line. It would have been nice if that rich black had pushed right up to that line. Top right hand side at head. This side, just at this side.
I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You see, there's like it's all this solid color and everything. It's just jumping out as like a white highlight, as silly as it seems. But it's a nice striking bold piece. It's got some texture on teeth with the look of it.
I really like this piece. Pretty cool. Very cool. Yeah. Anything I would say to do anything about it, I think would be one of those moments where it's subjective. The lining looks good. It looks crisp, looks consistent. The black feels very solid. I like the orange into the purple. It feels like it's blended quick, but I really do like it. It's like almost like a glow coming off.
Yeah.
Super cool. Whites and then, like you said, texture down there. I like it. Absolutely
Yeah.
like it. I'm sure the client loves it as well.
Oh,
And
nice little plain
again,
doctor.
really like this as well. You see
Yes.
this so often. I love the depth you got in your darks over here because it's easy to sell out and just go black, but to really smartly play it out, really look at your reference and go, okay, that's black. That's like my next black. That's that. And smartly try to put those where they need to go and leave little open bits. And yeah. And then out here, you really get to have fun and use those softer tones to contrast them both. And it looks like you got enough of like a line around that the mask there at the end. It should be all right, you know. Over time, maybe it might need a little something, but I'm not really one to say. Yeah, just a lot of I just really like this tattoo. I don't really have anything crazy. I wish this maybe I want to say like this line, but again, it whether it was meant to be or not, it looks like it gives it even more texture. So I have to recant my statement I almost made.
Yeah, I mean the beak, the eye, and the hat are the nicest, really nice features for me. How it's done softly,
Yeah,
use of the shading, little bits of lines and highlights. How it's done, it's either the holes or the rivet holes, you know, across the beak.
right.
Yeah, I really like this piece.
Now I don't know for sure, but and I'm just looking where I see lines, actual line lines, and maybe that's something you could spend a little time working on. I mean, again, you just sent it to me, so I'm just gonna throw some stuff out. Overall, it looks fantastic, all the pieces. But where I do see no, because the other piece had really nice lines, so I'm not sure why some of these feel a little shaky. But then over here we got nice crisp ones. So, I'm gonna recant that one too. Nice job. Some, you know what I mean? You try to find something, someone sends it in, it's like looks really good. What do you? I can't find nothing. And when I try to, I gotta take it back. All tattoos done by me. Experience 12 plus years. My shop, Outsider Arts Tattoo. Hey, thanks for being in the chat, Outsider Arts Tattoo. Appreciate you, man. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I like it.
This is, like you said, this is where you can tell that this person's been at it a long time.
Yeah. And what I really like is I actually really like that black around the outside, that sort of like splatter, but that solid black really shows you the contrast and that open bit right around the outside.
Yeah. And
very nice.
Like I said, enough of the heavy black with a lighter grey and all the highlights and everything, and it's not overcomplicated it.
Yeah.
And just kept it, and it's super bulletproof piece, absolute bulletproof piece. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Ooh, yeah. This looks pretty cool. Yeah.
Clean.
Pretty stinky.
Clean, crisp, banger.
Yep.
Good sticker tattoo. Good use of colour. You know, the separation of colour and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
It has a real fun look to it too.
Yeah.
I love these, like the white right across the contrasted by the pink. It's got like a real retro feel. I don't know if this is some sort of anime character. I don't know anything about any of it, but just from looking at it, cool, super cool. Ooh, look at all these different styles we're getting to take a look at. Very cool. I like how soft this is. It's almost like simplistically done, but nicely done. It's hard to, sometimes it can be tricky to do something simplistic and keep it feeling good. Yep.
And it's like you say, it's not overcomplicated. This has got just the right balance of enough darks, enough lighter, whip shading, stipple shading, that it's in, you can read it, but then your eye fills the rest in. Your eye and your brain fills the rest in for it.
Yeah.
Oops. And like I say, really good. So it's all done with black.
Yeah, and he said it was all done with black hand control. Yeah, definitely. And machine movement and all that, so you can deposit less black into the skin. But what's cool is when that heals, it's going to heal very solid.
Yeah. Really nice piece.
Wait, I think there was more. Did I? Oh, let me see. Nope, that was it. Hey, man, fantastic job, Justin. Outsider Arts
Yeah.
on the
And
computer here.
You can definitely tell he's been at his game for a long time.
Yeah, it looks good. I like it. And a nice array of images to send in, man. Different pieces. Pretty cool.
And it just shows you, like you say, it's his own shop, but he's having to. He's not specializing in one piece. He's diversifying. He's getting his colour in there. He's getting his blacks, all his different stuff. And this is like we've said before. It'd be nice to just specialize in one thing, but sometimes when you've got your own shop and you're earning a crust and you're earning a living, you don't want to be turning clients away. So you've got to diversify. You've got to get out there. You've got to learn all these techniques.
Yeah, and this is Outsider Arts Tattoo. That's if you guys want to look him up. I'm not sure where he's located, but always like to share other people when we can. So let's hit up the next one, Tyler. Hey, Dave. Here's a recent piece I did on my own leg the other day. I can't read. Let me know what you think. Like,
been a long day, Dave. Been a long day.
I guess we're gonna go with that excuse, but that's pretty much the regular when we're like, if you don't type it exactly perfect, my brain doesn't process fixing the. Okay, so this is interesting. Let me soak this up.
Well, I don't really know where to go with this. It's when you zoom away from it.
Yeah,
it's totally readable.
Yeah, I don't like these marks right here, Andy.
No, but when you get close into it, then you can see a few, should we say, faults, and the line work's that's there is not the best. It's in, but it's not the best.
Yeah, it's in there, and you said it right. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. So it's one of them like, all right, this needs work, but
now if you come down the right hand side of the face, down towards where the nose is, down that lower portion, in between the solid black towards the mouth, and that looks all blown out to me because it's dark. It's got that blacky blue haze in between that gap.
Right. Yeah.
And the small gap left between that bolder black shaded off outline and the finer line, that bit in between, it looks like they've been putting quite heavy in that skin, that it's blown out. And where you go up towards the nose and then go towards the right hand section in between the two lines, can you see that? Can you see it there? They look blown out to me.
Yeah, it could be. It is definitely hard to tell, and that black will hide a little bit for sure. And the nose in general just throwing me off. The lines around the nose, the black. I don't know. I do kind of like that there's different things happening here, but I'm not really sure like exactly what. The hair, it kind of looks like, for whatever reason, my brain keeps wanting to interpret this as a brain. It's like, I don't know why. It's like, I wish they'd colored that brain. I'm like, that's hair. So I don't know. I'm not sure. It's a bit confusing for me. I guess that's where I'm at with this one. And the shading is, it's actually not like bad. It's just like I see that you're moving with the flow of the face here and there around the eye. I think maybe if you just drop down to one more lighter shade and just kind of shade it off of this one more time, you'd probably get a little smoother. But it's just, I guess it's a lot of little things. So the lining in some spots ain't quite there. The shadings, and then some of it could be just how you put all these pieces together. But at the same time, it's not terrible. So it's I don't know. It's a brain. It's mind twisting to me on that one, Tyler. Sorry, we couldn't give you like a perfect straight up this, that, or the other. Outside art scan. Realize I should have sent in some color work. Hey, that looks cool, man.
Looks cool. Nice use of color.
Yep, I really like the little blue at the bottom there to kind of
I mean,
give it a little more shape.
Like I said, this anatomical art of butterflies, nice use of color. It's got the nice depth shading,
Yeah.
deep parts of the red, the highlights, the colour with the blue. Yeah, I'm really digging this piece. It's really, really nice.
Yeah, with the nice thick outline.
Yeah.
Yep, digging it. Thank
Nice
you,
piece.
Justin.
Really
Thank
nice
you,
piece.
Justin. Okay, last person is Brandon Kelly. Thank you so much for what you do. I've been tattooing for a month, have a lot to learn, but you help so much. The anime one isn't finished. He tapped, so need to do another session. I haven't looked at it yet, but 1 month, and we got what's going to be. Oh, okay, well, from a distance, it looked pretty good.
Well, that's a challenge design for a start.
Is
Isn't
it?
it? Is that what?
No.
I thought that's what Alicia had drawn up.
No, that has an eyeball in it.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah.
This is similar. This is
Very
pretty
similar.
similar. Yeah. You know, from like here, from a distance, it's like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. But for 1 month in, I will say, as a whole, with all the flaws in it, it looks pretty decent for a month in. I mean, you got some color packing going on, you got some lines, a little bit of grays, but you know, it's the details. So for 1 month in, I'll just say good job, you know. But I think the moon is the main one hurting me here. If you have circles and those curves, you know what I mean? You really got to give everything you got to really nail them. What I like, Andy, though, is I like these little shadows under the leaves.
Yeah.
And just kind of make it feel like this is like sitting on the skin. But a little bit more saturation.
I mean, yeah, we've got the crescent at the top on the moon. The tip of the blade, either side of the tip of the blade, the lines are not the best, you know, coming down the either side of that blade. But there again, like we said, 1 month in, and he's
I know. Right?
I
know.
I
It's
would have
hard to
liked
be like too picky, you know.
I'll say it and I'll say it again. I would have liked to have seen maybe two greens and a yellow leaf, which would have made them leaves pop that just a little bit further. But that's my personal choice. But
right.
But like, yeah, I mean, we've got lines that have been. I can see a couple of lines that have been double banged, and the fatter way that they should be the same as other side. But then again, I'm looking at other places like just at as the blade comes down into the rose, it's got two sets of parallel lines which look like they're filled in like either a white or a bluey colour, but they're fairly parallel coming down there.
Yeah.
On the hand grip, the parallel lines running around the hand grip, pretty parallel. And these are all areas where somebody at 1 month in would really drop the ball.
Right.
You know,
right.
Even down to the hilt, he's got them little bits of lines on the hilt through there. They look nice, you know, and he's used what looks to be a finer liner to put them in, is using a finer liner on the rose leaves. But for a month in, it's for a month in.
Yeah.
I've got to give this kid Joe. Is it perfect? No. Does it look good when you zoom out? It looks fine when you zoom away from it.
Yeah. I mean, even if you get relatively close, you know, photos, it's always easier to find things, to pick out things. But I think if the average person saw it, the only two things that jump out to me are the moon at the top and then this sword down here a little bit, whatever's happening here, something there.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, you're going to see it. This person should be fine. You know, you can always butter this up later on as you improve. So
outside of that, in comments, I'm with you, and I pretty much work similar to that. If I'm using colour, no matter what I'm using, if I'm using colour, it's 3 tones minimum. I use 3 tones minimum.
And that's how I would shade something. You know what I mean? The same way. That's how I look at it as well. So you want your dark, a medium, and a light, your basic. I mean, you can have several mediums, several lights, several darks, but you need a dark, medium, and a light. Same thing in coloring.
And I can mix. I can have three colours out, like you say, 3 tones, with enough separation in between them. Couple of steps of separation between each colour. And if I want out in between, I'll mix in tube. Or you can mix in skin, or you can blend from one to other. It's you can pick a bit of white up and add. You can pick a bit of a darker colour up, add. But you've just got to get enough 3 tones if you're working on stuff, and then you can get enough depth, curvature, richness, and everything in your work.
Yeah, and then when it comes to this one as well, there it seems to be you're working on different colors and whatnot. That's totally fine. I actually really like how vibrant it is, and whatnot. I think the problem here for me is just the line work, which is a shame because some of these are good lines, which means you're in that vital point where you're vital point. It's a month in, so you're trying to figure out how to run consistent lines, right? So some will be good, some not so good, some the depth's not right. You have to go back over different lines and trying to figure out, like, you miss your mark, it gets bigger, whatnot, you get it. So really, I think lining is going to be your biggest issue overall. I think there are some saturation issues here, but
Yeah, what I will say is top of the left hand wing, shall we say, that tealy colour, top of the left hand wing, that looks chewed. To be honest, I don't know if it's just a foot, that looks chewed in there.
Right, it is hard.
It does look chewed in, and this is where experience comes in. Packing lighter colours,
yeah, especially the like blue.
You've got to trust that they are in there, because for people new to it, I can't see it, so they keep on packing and packing and packing until the skin's beat. Best advice is pack it slowly, because it's a slow game. Pack it in, pack it slowly. If you're not sure, move away from the area, let it rest for a little bit. Start packing another one in, then go back to it, have a look at it once it's finished resting, and you'll be able to see.
Definitely. Let's see what we got here. Okay. All right. This one is a bit different. Let me try to get up on it. All right. So right off the bat, and I haven't gone all the way, I always do this, but the lining looks better in this one.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the location of the body. Sometimes you'll find what might throw you off in the beginning sometimes is you'll do a tattoo and that particular person's skin just like took in great. Your needles were like, everything was just boom on par, especially in the beginning. And so you're going to feel good. You hit up in the next tattoo and the skin's totally different. It's like, oh my gosh. So anyhow, this is your most recent one and it shows in the lining. Still, obviously, we got some here. This is one of those tough lines where you're trying to kind of hold your hand here and, getting the person in the right position for each line. Let's get in closer. Maybe a couple of these are slightly blown, but I don't know. Overall, I think it's an improvement. The color choice is a little interesting to me. You might have your own thoughts, Andy, but I don't know. I don't know if this is enough or if the saturation is going to hold. It just feels a little bit loose.
I'll be honest with you, Dave. Can I be honest with you there? I'm looking at them colours and I thought it was a pink Sharpie marker.
It kind of has that feel. That's why I'm like,
as if you're going with a pink Sharpie marker, mark it out, ready to, to go. And I thought it was a pink Sharpie marker. What I am going to give him 10 out of 10 for, if you zoom in on that hand, and obviously it's a female hand, it's got female nails. The past end at fingers. They're not behind the ends of the fingers, looking like they're halfway down the fingers. So I will at least give him 10 out of 10 for getting the nails over the ends of the fingers instead of being behind them. It's like you say, there's lines in there that are light and not put in. There's lines that are put in, and I can see, like you said, there's some of them lines. There's not going to be a right lot of them left if they come for another sitting, because there's a few all over. But as they come down, they start off dark, like there on right hand side, and there. It's as if you've also got to remember you're running a fatter liner or a round shader to line with. When you dip it in the ink, that inkwell that's in that cartridge, it's not going to last as long on a bigger liner as what it is on a smaller liner. So you're having to dip more, to keep the saturation. And I sometimes wonder if people they get on a roll pulling a line, and it's like, I don't want to stop. So they keep going until they've actually run out of ink.
That could be too. Yeah, I definitely see an improvement here of the other ones.
Yes,
But still a bit more to go in the lining. But an improvement is what you're always looking for.
always looking for.
Improving. As long as it's like it's improving, it's getting better. So there's that going. Saturation is a big issue in this one, though. Some of this is you'll find out though. You said this was the first session. You're gonna find out in the next one.
Yeah.
And whatnot. Okay.
So
All
he's
right.
usually saying that is, I think he's did it with 11 round liner. Now you could use a 9 round shader,
Yeah, it'd be easy.
and get the virtual same line. But what you'll find is or I find, I don't know about you, Dave. If I was to use a 9 round shader to put equivalent of a 11 round liner in, you're going to see less hesitation marks down the sides of your lines. Your line's always going to look crisper.
Yeah, I think so.
Running
I
a
think it's
shader
less
than
trauma.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Andy. I've really fallen for shaders, but I do no shading with shaders. You can like I do some simple work, maybe whatever, packing some whatever. But yeah, they're fantastic for lining with. They really are. They can leave some drag marks sometimes, and I mean you got to get your hand speed. But that's for anything. I think you're also going to run into issues here too with saturation as well. The D and parts of this lettering, like we saw on Archulator in the very beginning, you see that faintness in there, that faintness here, where it's just kind of on the surface. But again, sometimes things will will stay. But no, I think this one is better as well. You're gonna see these as you're gonna know. So if these lines are healing and they're staying, then fine. If you're noticing that they're not looking the same, then you might want to slow down a little bit and give those needles just a little bit more time to saturate.
Yeah.
And
What I will say though, Dave, I can see with this person that the trying, they seem to be quite fairly committed to learning, because I'm just looking at the letters.
Yeah.
Not being that they're in, and we've seen so many letters done badly.
That's a good point. Yeah.
To the point of they're all different thicknesses, the tapers aren't even. But this person has managed to keep his stencil and he's kept them fat where it is, and he's kept a nice where they go from thin to fat and then taper back in, where we've seen so many where they haven't, the stencil's been there, but they haven't seemed to have followed it.
Right.
So this person, they're not far into it, and they've still got a long way to go in the learning journey. And some of the lines, the shading, and this, that, and other, but they are actually trying to pay attention.
Right.
To what they're doing. I can see that.
Yes. And overall, I think if you made this tattoo for somebody somewhere, I think they would overall be happy with it. And if it healed fine, everything, you know what I mean? We have 2 paw prints, some color in there. It looks like we got a little bit of variations in color. It feels like it has some like curvature, something's happening. The shading's in there, making a shape out of stuff. And overall, I think they look pretty good. So, yeah. Right on.
Cool.
And that I can't. All right. Yeah, I don't play any of the videos, unfortunately, guys. All right. Let's see. Okay. You guys send me the photo. I'm not gonna. I don't know. I'm afraid to get a.
No.
Can't even think. Here's another one. And Nate Loomis. All right. Hey, that's looking cool, man. Spending some time with some practice skin. Yeah, 50 Cent. 50 Cent looks probably my favorite here.
Yeah, you've just beat me to that one.
Yeah. But at the same time, like she's looking good, and I'd love to see that one finished out, because maybe like once it has more contrast to it, maybe there's more black in certain spots, her face is gonna pop and feel even cooler than it already does. And don't do any sort of color portrait stuff, so I can't really speak on it. It looks cool. It looks like a painting, so that's fun. But this
it's nice. The 50 Cent one's nice.
Really like it.
Yeah, like I say, I'd like to see a few more pieces from this person.
Yeah.
And see whether they just dabble with, shall we say, portraits, or because color portraits Oof, that's another world on its own. Because
Yeah,
you got to know your colour theory as well as your lights and darks, what to use. And then it always gets me, does that colour portraits, because you see them then putting green in the middle of somebody's face. And then all of a sudden it's like, what are you putting green in? And then when they've done, it's like, oh, yeah, actually.
Right. Greens, reds, and
yeah,
understanding the tones.
And I'm looking at the reference picture and I'm going, I don't see no green, or I don't see no purple. You know, they've put it in, and then by the time they've done, it's like, wow.
Right. You're like, where did the green and purple go? Oh, wow, that's where that's at. Okay. Yeah, nice job, man. Overall, or
Cool.
woman, whoever you are, fantastic job. You know, this is nice work, Nate.
Yeah.
Be proud of yourself, man. Dorian Flores. Part of my sleeve haven't gotten filled yet. All right. So wait a second. I guess I'm not understanding this. Part of my sleeve haven't gotten filled yet. So which one are we? Which one? Maybe this one? Part of my sleeve I haven't gotten filled yet. He's just showing us. I guess I'm confused.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, these all look healed.
I know. That's why I'm kind of lost. I'm not. Are they just showing us the spot of?
Are they just showing us the sleeve? I mean, it doesn't actually say this person, Dorian, doesn't actually say whether he's done them, had them done by somebody else. What I will say is, I mean, that heart, the actual flames at the top, them lines around what's supposed to be the flames, I'm assuming at the top, they actually, some of that, they're blown. Some of them are blown into, you know, what it looks like on the photo, you know, when it comes into the bottom flame and everything.
And it's also just on top of that. I'm not sure how to judge this. Like you said, is this something that you had done? These look like they were all done by the same person because they're all similar in application, I guess you could say. And they just feel a little bit amateurish. But if it's you and you're doing them, then they just need to be tuned up a little bit more. Like Andy said, with them harsh lines. Everywhere it's got pretty heavy lines. And the shading's also just a little heavy. Try to work with those lighter tones a little bit, which will help you out in the long run.
Try to get rid of some of them rake marks. Smooth it out.
Yep. But that is going to do it. Feel free to send them in, guys. We're going to be here for another 20, 30 minutes. But not too much longer than that because I don't know why. I'm a bit tired today.
Dave doesn't know whether it's Sunday, Monday, or whatever.
Yeah, we got some fun ones tomorrow, though. So looking forward to that. And weather pending.
Day off tomorrow, Dave.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, that's always fun. Days off are nice and well needed at times, man. Definitely need
Sundays
time off.
Don't do anything on a Sunday. That's my day. You can forget it.
Well, you're here, so you're doing that.
Yeah, but it's Monday now. But no, Sunday's my day. That's it. Been nice this week. I'm just one of new laser machines has just come in, so been playing around with that today.
Yeah, is that like laser removal machine?
Yeah,
tattoo removal, not laser removal.
No, ordered 2 new machines. Ordered laser hair removal machine. That's the one that's just come in. And
hair removal. Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, because daughter and wife, they've just passed the British Medical Laser accreditation thing for hair removal. So we had a spare room in shop, so they've done all that out for that. And then they also decided that they wanted another new machine for tattoo removal. Wow. So we're just waiting on that to come in now.
Nice.
So that's been they can get on, and that's their baby now. They can get on and start.
Congratulations to your daughter. She graduated from university, right?
Yeah, that were after 4 years. That were 4 years of her being at university. And I'll be honest, I didn't know what to expect. Well, I've never been to a graduation, and it was a cracking day, a brilliant day, and
Nice.
honestly, seeing like 300-400 students,
Wow.
all dressed, same, in the gowns, the robes, the
Yeah,
caps,
yeah.
and that. To be fair, what an awesome sight, and that.
Just all around good experience to go
Yeah,
out there.
it was. But then again, she spent 4 years at uni, and she did 4 years at uni, and she passed that degree. While she was at uni, she also studied and became a fully qualified piercer.
Oh,
And then
really?
she also studied and passed the British Medical Laser Association course for tattoo removal.
Wow, that's cool.
And along with my wife, and then her and my wife passed the British Medical Association exams for the hair removal to be, accredited, licensed, or whatever for hair removal. And believe it or not, that course was 100% success rate. You could only score 100. You could only do 100% in your exams. There was no margin for error.
Wow.
And
Hey, that's cool. I mean, that's
you was only allowed to take the exam 3 times.
Wow.
Before you had to resit the complete course.
Dang.
So they managed to get through that.
Well, that's good.
But that's down to them.
Right on. Right on. Well, guys, we got about depending on what you guys want to do. If you guys have any questions, get them in. We just finished going through the emails a little early today. No big deal. If you got any questions or any topics for discussion, let me know. We'll be up for another little while here, 15, 20 minutes. We'll jump off. No problem, guys. But if you got anything, let us know.
Yeah, I think I was burning everybody's head out earlier on when you're doing your live, because I'd signed. What it is I'd signed in, and I'd forgot that I actually had a YouTube. I'd set up a YouTube channel, and I'd forgot all passwords, and it was daughter that went, "You've got one? You set one up?" When we were messing around with, streaming software and video editing software.
Okay.
She went, "You've got one?" I said, "Well, I can't remember how to get onto it, and I can't remember any passwords." Anyway, she got back onto it, and so what I'd done is I went on, managed to get back on it, and I've just been messing around on it today, and just messing around with settings and updating stuff and this, that, and other on it. And obviously, I jumped over that you're going live, you were tattooing, and we're talking to people, and nobody knew who it was. They were like, "Oh, better come back out and jump back across now, to me normal."
I didn't know that was you.
Yeah, jump across to me normal. I was surprised you didn't see it because it actually says the actual,
logo picture
logo. It says LS Inc.
I just never would have thought like, oh, that must be Andy. Because I think you even commented on something as that tattoo studio.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this, but you spoke, the person, obviously, that knows, spoke as if we knew each other. I'm thinking, oh, well, that's cool. I don't know. I had no idea. And that's when Alicia was like, oh, Andy is that. I was like, no, he's not. No, he's not.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he is. Oh.
They were like, oh, I better jump back across.
Right. Very cool though.
Yeah, it makes it easier. It makes it easier for people.
So are you using the channel there?
You are, Dev.
What's that?
What's that, Dev?
Are you using that channel? Am
if I go ahead, I will be using that channel. Now I've managed to get back on it.
Okay.
And I think there's only one crappy ass video on it at the minute when we were messing around with video editing software and getting used to it, and numbnuts here. I end up pressing a button and it automatically fired this. It just automatically fired this video up to YouTube.
Oh man!
It's just some laser removal process. And that, but it was like, hey, I'll leave it there. I can't. It took me long enough. I pressed the button and it went up on its own. It's going to take me long enough to get the bloody thing back down. So I've left it there and not done it. So, but I did say to you before, didn't I? It's come winter time, which is coming now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll get stuff sorted. If I can get stuff sorted out.
Yeah.
E.g. a bit of camera equipment, and I don't know whether I'll need to sort, you know, laptop where it's going to be, my computer's powerful enough to run it all, and that I don't know.
Right.
But I've just got all that crap to sort out.
Yeah, man. Enjoy the process, you know. I mean, shoot. Let people start. Smoke wants to know, and Smoke went ahead and changed his little picture over there, and I was like, what Smoke is this? Now he's a different character now. But nonetheless, he wants to know how does he find you on YouTube, Andy?
It's just, oh God, Dave, you've got me now. I can't even remember. Just let me find out on my phone. I can't even remember the name of the channel. That's how long it is. I can't remember the name of the channel off the top of my head.
And he created it a long time ago and forgot about it.
Well, I don't think it was that long ago, but I think it was just sometime I was bored, and you know, we were doing it.
Yes.
And it's just called the Tattoo Studio.
Perfect.
That's it.
The Tattoo Studio, Smoke. The Tattoo Studio.
That was basically it. Super creative, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? One of them droll, boring, miserable days.
I named my channel Art Something. Like literally, you can't get any more vague than that. I mean, I look back and I'm like, what kind of a name was that? But what are you gonna do? You just go with it. I mean, there's some channels I like to watch, and the name makes absolutely no sense, but I don't even think about it, you know. Now Archulator did have a question, so I figured since she was asking about positions, I think. She said, yeah, I would like to know and see more info about tattooing different parts of the body and setup of armrests, tattoo chairs, especially for beginners, what to buy, what to avoid, how to place the person. That is actually more complicated of a thing to explain than just right here, because you kind of have to see the different ways. But I mean, the way I do it is I would, because again, we all have these questions. If nobody's going to answer them, and nobody was there to really tell me, you just think about it. Like, what part of the body are you tattooing, and how do you have to position them to make that work? Are they gonna, if you're like back, let's say you're tattooing back here, you could, I mean, and have them sit like this, right? But that might not be that fun, right? So maybe have them lay down flat and throw their arm out, you know. Or if you're tattooing the lower back, maybe have them sit up on something and lean them forward. You know, maybe make special chairs, but you just have to think, how do I make this, in my opinion, as flat as possible, as comfortable for me, relatively comfortable for them? What stretches the skin out more? What if it's a big tattoo? What's comfortable long term? But I'd get a massage table. I mean, because they're not, you can pick those up relatively cheap. You can lay somebody down on that, and an armrest. And that's up to you what you want to spend on armrests. I found that there's tons of them. You can get them cheap, you can get them expensive. Some will last longer than others, but I would get it if you can. Find something that has a decent size top on it. Some of them are very small and whatnot. Avoid those narrow ones. In my opinion, I used a lot of those very narrow ones, and just try to get something that's, you know, about yay big. The larger on top, the better. A decent base.
Yeah, I second that.
Yeah, a good chair too.
Big pad on top, because then you can get their arm, their hand or whatever on it, as well as your hand, your arm, you know, to keep you nice and steady, and you can be comfy. And the other thing, if you need to get to a certain part of the body, don't be scared to get your client. No, you're gonna have to sit like this and turn around like that or whatever, so that I can get in to tattoo you. Otherwise, nobody says you're going to sit there comfortable all day getting tattooed. I will make you as comfortable as I can, and I will get in and out as quick as I can.
Right.
But don't be scared. I mean, I was guilty of it to start with. I think we said, I was sort of like contorting myself, you know, to try and do these lines. And then after a while, it's like, why am I doing? I ended up going home with backache, neck ache, and everything. And it's like, no, now, you know, start moving client about. Don't be scared to move client about. And get them to move around. Same as if they're getting a bit fidgety or a bit twitchy, don't be scared to say to them, stop moving about, sit still. You're going to sit still.
Yeah, you sometimes you have to. I mean, or you'll suffer a couple times and your work will suffer because of it. And then eventually you're gonna be like, you're just gonna have to tell people what to do sometimes. Um, just like letting people dictate your tattoo, you know, like they're like, oh, that hurts in the beginning. You tend to like back off a little bit, like, oh, I mean, sometimes, I mean, if you're freaking going balls to walls and it's hurting, so be it. But even then, I was a big thing for me. I used to back off a little bit, like, oh, I better. And later in life, you know, not long after that, you realize that no, tattoos hurt. I have to do what I have to do. So yeah. And people were talking about how nail salon stuff. You can get some decent gear that the same kind of stuff that people use in nail salons. Some of the dental stuff we use. We're in one of them weird little niches where we use stuff from all over different places, whatnot. I mean, my little red bench, this is my travel around with me table here, this red one. And I mean, that's made for garages. That is made to put like parts on, tools on. I can raise that up all the way up, back down. I mounted a little piece of wood at the bottom, put a trash can, and my gloves are mounted to the side. That's meant for tools. And obviously we use toolboxes. That little wagon that rolls around people is for tools. So, I mean, a lot of the stuff we use is utilized in other places. So anyhow, that be that, guys. Well, Andy, if there's nothing else, guys, I'm pretty stinking tired, and it's Monday where Andy's at. So, should I go with flat one or one that I could raise up? Get one that you can raise up, I would say. So, nonetheless, guys, thanks for being here. Andy, you got anything you want to say before we depart?
No, like I say, it's all been good. We managed to get through everything past couple of weeks. I think we managed to get through everything now. Like I said, you just got to say a big thank you for everybody coming and hanging out and sending the work in, because at the end of the day we couldn't be here if they didn't send the work in.
That's it. We would, just be a couple.
And like we said before, it takes balls to send your work in. And for somebody to sit here on camera with, 30, 40, 50, 60, however many other people watching.
Yeah.
And basically going around, this is a bit this is a bit that. But like I said, I do appreciate people sending it in.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because there would be, would be nothing for us to look at. So thank you, guys. Appreciate all the support. And don't forget to give the video a like on your way out. Subscribe if you're not already, but I imagine 30 of you guys that are hanging out here are subscribed. So thank you for all the support, and we will see you next time. Peace.